check out All Elite Podcast.
We are the Lucha Brothers, and you listen All Elite Podcast. You know why?
Hey, this is Cole Cabana. Check out the All Elite Podcast. All Elite. All Elite.
This is Sammy Guevara, the best ever. And you, yes you, need to go check out All Elite Podcast.
Myself, the man with the huge effort arms, Brian Cage. You're watching the All Elite Podcast. Who better?
Welcome back, All Elite family, to another exciting edition of the All Elite Podcast. As always, I'm your host, All Elite Andy, and I'm joined by my boy in higher quality 720 ADP. I don't even know what the wording is, AJ, but he's looking good today. How you doing, AJ?
I'm doing good. Been, like I've told you earlier, just been throwing myself into a lot of projects. Yesterday, I got drunk for the first time in well over a year.
My man
and it was great.
Partying. My man was partying, watching that WWE Raw, huh?
No. I just went to a restaurant that was on the beach, and I ordered a double Jack, and they came back and they said, sorry, we're out of Jack. So I said, okay, I'll take Crown. And then they gave me the rest of the Jack that they had. So I got a double of Crown and a little extra Jack, and that was enough for me to be like, wee.
There you go, bro. I'm glad you had a good time. I am busy trying to get my house ready, trying to get everything ready for my son. He's going to be here making his grand debut in the ABC household potentially this week. We don't know. He didn't make it for the Royal Rumble, but you never know. He might make his grand debut this week. I'm excited. That's going to mean that may end up pausing for Thursday's episode, depending on if he decides to make his debut during Dynamite. But we'll see. Just an update on that for you guys. But yeah, I'm super excited. Always very exciting to have a child on the way. So
if you have a child during Dynamite, that's foreshadowing that he's definitely going to be a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'll put it on for him the second he comes out. I'm like, let's watch some Dynamite. Like, Amanda, you're good, right? Everything's good. Okay, cool. Let's watch some wrestling. I'm sure she'll be good.
Yeah,
cool
the
with
epidural will be like.
She'll be loving it. Yeah, I'm sure. But no, that's exciting. I'm really excited about that, obviously. But obviously excited about some AEW stuff going on. WWE related. We don't get to talk positively of WWE too much on the All Elite Podcast. But the New Day did something cool during the Royal Rumble, paying tribute to Brody Lee. They had some really nice attire made up, and it looked kind of like it was paying tribute to Brody Lee. And like, it doesn't really matter if it's Brody Lee, Luke Harper, how they set it up, but it looked like Brody Lee type gear. Like, that, I thought that was cool. I thought that was really interesting, like not forcing it to be the Luke Harper thing. Because and the reason I say that is because it was like very reminiscent of the tribute to Brody t-shirts and stuff you've seen, which is obviously more AEW geared merchandise. So cool of them to do something like that. What'd you think?
Super awesome. Didn't expect it at all, but it makes sense. Big E was so fucking close with this guy, man. He was like, it seems like he was, if not his best friend, one of his closest friends in life. So it makes perfect sense to me. And I'm glad he was able to do that. I'm glad they let him do that. Like you said, positive WWE news. And because normally after somebody dies in WWE, like, they'll probably like try to move along to make people forget about anything sad. But the fact that it's Royal Rumble still, and they're doing it, and they're still doing it, that's cool to me.
Yeah, that's the thing I could say too, is that they were able to do it in this situation. And I think, like, it's just very cool to pay respect, to pay tribute. Like you said, obviously the relationship with Big E and Brody especially, but all of those wrestlers in that group, and probably within the whole roster, I'm sure that many people in the company were excited to see that. And Big E is the perfect person to do that because people know of that friendship and that relationship that they have. So I think that it was a really, really good thing. I think it was really nice to see. And for Big E, I'm sure he was excited to do that, to be able to pay tribute to one of his best friends in that way. I remember reading just some of the stuff Big E was saying after Brody had passed.
Yeah.
It was tough. And so this is a cool way to get that tribute on television or pay-per-view in a very positive way. So there's nothing negative I could say about it. I'm glad they did it. Really, really nice. Shout out to New Day for that.
Yeah.
Something interesting, I'm curious to see what your thoughts are, and honestly the general consensus of this one. They're doing pre-show meet and greets. They have brought this back. I don't know if you have seen this, but Darby Allin will be doing a special meet and greet on Wednesday, February 3rd, ahead of Beach Break, which is tomorrow. What do you think, man? It says that it's contactless and physically distanced, but what are you thinking?
dude, Mick Foley got COVID doing virtual signings. Like, no, it's not a good
Are
idea.
you sure that's how he got COVID? Was
No,
the
like it was somebody around there. Yeah, it was somebody around the virtual signings, and he had to like hole up in a hotel. It's like no, don't even mess with it. Don't even try right now. This is not the time.
Yeah, I don't understand it really. I mean and I'm not privy to numbers and stuff on COVID and whatnot, so I'm not even saying it in that aspect. It's just very confusing, you know.
Yeah.
Just right now doing something like this, especially contactless and physically distanced. What is even happening? Am I just yelling
Yeah.
at Darby from across the? And to be honest, that might be cool for fans, but then you're lined up with other fans, and that's where the dilemma comes in to some people. And you know what you're getting yourself into, so be masked up. It's going to be outside. I understand they're going to take all kinds of precautions. A lot of these people are coming into, well, all of them you would assume are coming in to view the show anyway. So if you're going to let them into the show, let them come and say hi to Darby. They probably have someone wearing gloves passing off a signed autograph. Like there's probably a lot that goes into making it a protected thing. And it's, as a fan and as just a human, I could say, it's nice to see something return that is
Sure.
from pre-COVID, but I do at the same time as a human and as a fan am like, well, I don't know, but they've been doing so much with fans. They've been doing so much somewhat effectively that it's not, I'm not critiquing it at all. I don't think that I would necessarily, actually, to be honest, I probably
Yeah, I was
would
gonna
be.
say I think I am critiquing it.
Well, no, I'm not critiquing it at all. I'm saying I would
Oh, you would go?
I would be the one to go. Yeah.
Oh, I would too. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't. I went to a wrestling show. I went to Ignite literally like a week ago. So of course I would go.
And so that's where I'm not. I don't even know how I can't critique it much because they have people coming into the venue for shows and stuff. They're probably going to do it over a lengthy amount of time, so that way you're not rushing to just. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they're taking precaution with all this. So, it's a way for, I assume, Darby to collect an additional payday because I assume you would get a boost from that. I don't really know. If nothing else, it's a good way to get fans to connect with him, and he's a superstar, and he will continue to be. That was something I was thinking about watching the Royal Rumble this weekend. Was how will fans react to superstars when fans are back? You know, we have an idea based upon the direction the company wants us to cheer and piped in noises and even reactions from fans on Dynamite and stuff that they do bring in. So we have an idea of who's popular and who's not. But we could go on the road eventually, obviously, when things are safe, and find out that everyone is liked by different people. It's a totally different aspect. So, yeah.
You know, I don't think that'll be a problem though, because like regardless of who people like, the AEW crowds are loud as hell, and that's really what counts.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely not saying that it's even an issue or like I'm just intrigued to see where it goes, basically, is my situation.
Yeah.
So and like I said, it's just good for Darby to have this situation where he can meet with people. I mean, yeah, I don't really have a major issue with it. I get it. And hopefully they're just doing stuff to be smart about it, and I assume they would be. So, yeah, I don't take much away from this, and I do honestly anticipate, if this goes well, to see more of these. If not maybe not from everybody, but Darby, I've seen him do a lot of these types of signings. Darby, Orange Cassidy, guys that maybe not aren't superstars, but you've seen the following start to pick up for them, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think it's fair to say if there was a crowd, Darby Allin would be getting hella cheers, if only because he's next to Sting, but still he would.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't believe I said hella.
I agree, though. He would definitely be getting hella cheers for being next to Sting, and I think that I think that if I was a fan that lived in this area, like, this has got to be the most amazing stuff. Like, the ability to go and see AEW, like, living in Jacksonville as a fan of wrestling, it's got to be great right now. You can go go see AEW weekly for a fantastic price. Bundled tickets, I'm pretty sure what they're doing nowadays. You get now potentially continuing, because like I said, if this one works out, they will do more of these and you will get more options to do meet and greets and stuff with the superstars. So yeah, for the local fans especially, this is a great thing. But be careful, be safe, wear your masks, do all that stuff. I don't got a lot of critique for it, though. Something I had no critique for was only excited about in watching it was the Jungle Boy versus Dax Harwood match, and this match has been getting a ton of praise on social media. Jim Ross, or not Jim Ross, AEW named Jungle Boy AEW's Wrestler of the Week. Cody Rhodes then responded to this. This was all very interesting. Like, you could feel the push finally behind Jungle Boy, right?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, definitely. I hope that's the case. I hope that, because like there's a part of me that's saying like, oh yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna go forward with them now. And there's another part of me that's saying like, or maybe they're just capitalizing on people liking the match and they're gonna go back to normal in like a week. And I hope that's not the case, because I really want to see Jungle Boy shine in AEW, and I know he can. I think everybody knows he can, including AEW. But it's not the matter of, I don't think it's a matter of like, oh, we don't want to push him. It's a matter of like, well, where do we push him? Like when Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho, it was like, well, where do we go now?
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, well, I don't know. I think they have an idea of where they're going with him, and I think that's the interesting situation coming out of this one is on Dirt Sheet started reporting this week that Dax was apparently the one to come up with this angle and start pushing for this angle to Tony Khan, pushed for the matchup itself at least, and helped put it together. And that's why I found it interesting that Jungle Boy was thanking Dax on Twitter, obviously in character, saying that you brought the best out of him. But where the reality I think of that comes from is he's sort of helping put together a solid angle for JB to really start looking like a superstar, and I think that that's very interesting. The fact that this angle was able to begin at this point and really go, like, I don't know. For me, I really feel like Jungle Boy's looking like kind of a top guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like,
definitely
not a top guy, but a guy on the rise. I don't want to
like upper mid card, like around there, like a guy that you would expect to be a top guy in the next 5 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and they recognize that. There was also just in the report I read talking about his athleticism and everyone in the company recognizing that, but wanting to get him in a position where he's not just a great athletic superstar, but he can tell the story in the matchup and being a superstar who's beat down and then has that fire and comes back, and we saw that in this match, you know.
Yeah.
And the other important thing that they had stressed was that the finish, you know, he beat him with a submission finish. It wasn't a roll up like we've seen happen with Jungle Boy over time, and that's the thing. This has been a slow burn for this kid, and I think that will only benefit him in the grand scheme of things, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think like just in the little time he's been in AEW, he's grown so much, and he was already great. Like we knew he was great from GCW, but I feel like we didn't know the extent of like how good he could be and how far he could go.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So excited to see what happens there. Something I'm also intrigued about, and we're going to talk about a couple of different matches. Every week we do our AEW Dark Sleeper Picks of the Week, where we talk about one or two matches on Dark, because if you're unfamiliar, AEW runs like 13 to 16. I think Tony Schiavone had mentioned one time he wants to see 20 matches on Dark.
Oh my God,
that's a lot. It's a lot. I understand it. I get the premise of it. If you wanna know why they do it, I could try and break it down for you. I don't know why, but I have my theories. But nonetheless, we're not gonna run down 17 matches, 13 matches, or even 10. We're going to give our picks for the sleeper picks of the week. And the first one I'm going with this week, AJ, as far as a sleeper pick, is Bear Country teaming with Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, taking on the random team of Sean Dean, Baron Black, Aaron Solo, and Mike Verna. Now, I'm not really excited about the quality of competitors in this matchup. I'm not trying to bury them either. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see my guy, Joey Janela. I'm excited to see Sonny Kiss. I have no idea what the hell Bear Country is. Their images in this picture look ridiculous, so I don't know what's going on. I think it's like a glitch in the image, honestly. But yeah, I'm just excited to see Joey. It is really the biggest takeaway I have from this one.
When I was reading through the card, that was one of the ones you already picked it, so I didn't pick it. But I was like, oh, Joey Janela's wrestling again, cool. So like immediately, I wish they would do something with Joey, like something serious. But I don't know if they're ever gonna at this point. But I'm just being pessimistic, Phil, right now. So I should go over mine. I picked Thunder Rosa versus Danny Jordan. Like you said, the quality of competitor does not have me hyped. Thunder Rosa being on an AEW show at all in general usually gets me hyped. It makes sense that she's on this one given the circumstances. But Thunder Rosa is just so goddamn good. Like one of the better wrestlers to like come, like one of the best women wrestlers to come out like recently and really start breaking out and doing really good shit. And so every time I see her, I'm just so impressed. There's other matches on here that I would love to shout out, like Casey Navarro versus Ray Phoenix. That's going to be awesome. And Layla Hurst versus Catalina Perez is going to be cool. But like, there's so many matches. But I'm gonna go with Thunder Rosa and Danny Jordan.
Yeah, that's the thing. Dark has a lot of matches. Shout out to anybody who tunes into all of them. The idea of the sleeper picks for us is these are the ones that we're going to check out. The other one I'm going to check out is, I don't really know who they're facing, but Dustin Rhodes, QT Marshall are teaming up with Nick Camarado to take on the team of Terrell Hughes, Terrence, and Mbadu. So I'm not sure about the team that they're taking on, which gives me even more confidence that my guy Nick Camarado is going to get his first AEW victory.
And he looks so damn cool.
He does. He looks like $1 million. He looks like someone who should absolutely be signed up. If I'm WWE and I'm scouting to like just rob potential talent from AEW, like people seem to think happened with Ben Carter or anyone else, he's the next guy on the list. And that's the benefit of Dark. People say this all the time. Why is Dark happening? Yada yada yada. You give about 20 guys an opportunity every week, and people start to take notice of them and start to gain fandom of them or maybe dislike for them, which kind of helps in its own way. That's what Dark does, and this guy is someone that I don't think a lot of people are super familiar with, but social media has really helped build the buzz for him over the last couple weeks with what he's done on Dark, because he's an impressive specimen. He just looks like $1 million, and he goes in and has good matches. So why wouldn't you root for the guy? Now we're going to see him probably on the winning side, teaming with Dustin and QT against a bunch of guys I'm not super familiar with, but this is going to be fun. It's going to be a solid showing for him. He's finally going to get a victory, and so I will be tuned into that, and I hope we get to see more of him, because Dark has been a fun place to see guys that I've personally never heard of become like talent that I see every week and become fans of. Like Will Hobbs is definitely one to think about. Layla Hirsch, she's on this card. She's someone to think about. I'm not a huge fan of hers, but I'm very well informed of who she is now. I know who she is. Another guy who I'm sure a lot of people aren't familiar with, but I've gotten to know him through Dark is Ryzen.
Ryzen.
His
different. Promos are weird, but
he's weird. He's got some weird stuff on social media, but he's
like a character I would make when I was a kid.
But I've taken notice of him because he shows up on Dark every week, and I'm like, they keep booking this guy, and he says all this crazy shit on social media. They must like him, because it's just funny and it's cool. So there's a lot about Dark that I can get. Like if you're not a fan of watching a 2-hour show of squashes, essentially, because that's what you're getting. But once in a while, you're going to get an upset, and you're going to see some talent that do become well-known one way or another. So, yeah, Nick Camarado, if I had to bet on anyone kind of coming out of this show with some gifts and more about him, it's going to be him. So,
I mean, honestly, I know a lot of people who watch Dark but don't watch Dynamite because they don't have cable, and they just like wrestling, so they'll watch Dark on a whim. But the other thing I was going to say about Dark, just real quick, is I wish they would move the time slot, because they're doing this thing with Impact. They know they're doing this thing with Impact. Why are they running against Impact? And I know it would look weak of them if they put Dark at like 5 p.m., but I don't think anybody would care, and more people would get to watch both shows, and it would work. I get it. Like, in kayfabe, it would make Tony Khan look like a bitch, but like, really, who cares? Like, you're putting Kenny Omega on Impact. Just let them watch Impact and Dark.
Yeah, I agree, and yeah, for the most part, because I agree. Like, you're sending Kenny over there, you're sending talent over there, and that's something I love. I love seeing the guys over on Impact, and I like Dark for what it is too. So in a way, it kind of like, I kind of agree but kind of disagree, because you can pop back and forth between two. It almost makes Dark a little bit more entertaining, because you know that you can just switch the channel and see some of the upper name guys do, and not switch the channel, but you know what I mean. Switch the channel, see some of the upper name guys that you like doing other cool shit, like with other upper name guys you like from a different company. So there are aspects I like, but I also can understand where you're coming from, especially as a fan of Impact, wanting to watch Impact. It makes it hard to tune into Dark when you know, like, you just have a preference to watch Impact for the storyline progression and the matchups and stuff like that. So based on that fact, I do agree. I think that it would be smart to just throw it on a different night and see what happens. Like, throw it on Mondays, honestly. People are talking about wrestling all night on Mondays. They want to do something during commercials and matches they don't like, so throw Dark on Mondays. People will stupidly say that that's the Monday Night War, but
They will.
whatever. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that they should change the date a little bit. You know what I mean? And
I'm fine if they
been
even just change the time, honestly. Like, you
That
could just
too,
put it on
yeah.
earlier.
That too. Put it on earlier. But I've been a firm believer of putting it on Fridays, especially because it helps
That-
leading
yes.
into pay-per-views and stuff like that. But yeah, at the same time, as I make these arguments, I feel like it's fine where it is, and I like it where it is because of the potential. If I'm gonna watch one, I'm just gonna flip between the two and see what's going on. But,
Sure.
let's talk about some Being the Elite, AJ. We don't talk about enough BTE.
I didn't watch it this week, and you did.
I
This is
did.
New
So,
dynamic.
This is a new dynamic. I'm very excited. I'm trying to get an image for Being the Elite, but I'm botching. There we go. The Good Brothers popped up on Being the Elite this week. They've been on there a couple of weeks in a row now, and I had a lot of fun just watching their segment. Not a whole lot of seriousness coming out of this one, obviously, but
Never.
they opened the show teasing the fact that they had to edit the hell out of their match on Dynamite, which I think is great because I don't know that they really did, but it made me want to go back and watch just to see if that stuff was really taken out. And I imagine they did because it was just some funny shit that they had going on in there. They referenced New Japan a little bit, poking some fun at TNT. I don't. Do you feel like the New Japan relationship is happening? Nick Jackson straight up said it's not a storyline, which made me feel like it was a storyline. What did you think? Oh, you didn't see it. Shit, you don't know.
I think I don't think the relationship is happening right now, but I think there is a working relationship going on with Jon Moxley and probably with Chris Jericho at some point. So is there a relationship? Yes. Is there going to be a thing like with Impact? Probably not for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I because I feel like the just the fact that they're called the Bullet Club, people speculate that in and of itself is a tell because Bullet Club is supposedly trademarked by New Japan. I'm not sure how all of that works. I'm not sure if you're not allowed to even say the word on television.
They're not supposed to.
So I'm not sure how it works out. They've been called it by announcers a couple times, maybe on mistake, but it was
by mistake. Cause it was like Big Red, like that kind of the Eric Rowan thing. New Japan owns Bullet Club, the name anyways, and the logo.
That's why I feel like the relationship is there, brother. Like I feel like it's at least in the beginning stages. Especially
I will say, giving you the benefit of the doubt that they do something soon, that it would not be out of the realm of possibility, in my opinion, for sorry, there's a weird dude I'm just watching walk slowly across my yard who I don't know. Anyways, they're doing New Japan Strong, and they're doing that in LA. So if ever there was and New Japan Strong is like an okay show, like no, I don't think anybody really cares about it except strong New Japan fans. I don't mean that, no pun intended. Hardcore New Japan fans. So if there was a good time to put like AEW guys invading New Japan, do it in New Japan Strong, make the show interesting, give some eyes on it. The problem with that is there's not a ton of New Japan talent in New Japan Strong. It's a lot of US indie guys because it's in LA and COVID is going on. So it would be a weird balance right now with COVID because you don't want to send too many people to Japan. You don't want Japan to send too many people to America, but you could do something.
And I think that is where the precedence could be set for New Japan to do it. You know what I mean? Like, utilize the American talent that you have. Utilize a couple of guys who are willing to go over there and do stuff like Kenta, who's doing a couple matches and stuff like that. So you can build up that relationship. Bring on people who want to watch New Japan Strong because you've seen what it's done for Impact. And then in 6 months to a year, you've developed a much more enviable product, even for your American base, that when you bring over Okada and Naito and everything, you've had time to build up the American base of your talent too. I think there's a lot to it that makes sense for New Japan to do it, and I think with what AEW has been willing to do with Impact and sort of help cultivate their fan base again, make wrestling more exciting for them, I think they can do the same thing for New Japan Strong. And I think the relationship is like in the beginning stages, you know what I mean? And I could be way off, but yeah, I just have a feeling, and it's impossible to feel like there's not a relationship with Mox popping up and doing this match with Kenta. So obviously you're gonna feel like something's going on. But Nonetheless, that was a fun segment. Good little situation there. Poking fun at New Japan. The other two segments worth talking about. There was a situation with the Dark Order. They were having a little slumber party. It was all types of fun. Anna Jay decides to leave the slumber party because she's getting annoyed. And as she leaves their little fort, she sees Hangman Page outside of the fort grabbing some jack. And she's like, "Why are you here? What the fuck are you doing?" She talks about how he broke their heart and then kicks him out. She tells him to get the fuck out. So, very interesting. Anna Jay sort of gatekeeping the Dark Order. Was Hangman there to join them? Was he just there to get the alcohol? And Five actually saw this because he was kicked out of the tent and saw her do this. And she told Five to shut the fuck up. And then everyone could hear Five. It was very funny, but what do you think, man?
I think it makes sense, first of all, that Anna Jay is rightfully pissed. Because Anna Jay is always, like, the pissy one anyways. So, like, she's always, like, angry. Like, she's never, like, particularly happy. So, of course, if she saw Hangman, she'd be like, get the fuck out. So I feel like that makes sense within her character, to me.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
doesn't
just wonder if she's
necessarily...
turning heel, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think
turning
so.
heel, but, like, yeah.
I think it's just part of the puzzle piece that, like... And it's her reacting in a way that she clearly did want Hangman, like, very badly. And this is her expressing how much she wanted Hangman, that she's pissed off at him.
And the interesting part, like, you haven't seen it, so you wouldn't know totally.
Yeah,
but she's
exactly.
like, she's defending the boys, you know what I mean? So it's not even so much that she wanted them, or she wanted him in the group per se, but that the guys in the group wanted him, and she feels protective of those guys despite the fact that they annoy the shit out of her.
Yeah.
That she told him to get the hell out and that she was trying to defend him. Very interesting. I like where it's going. Maybe it could just be Anna Jay testing Hangman, maybe to see, if he comes back around again, maybe he really does like them. So it's good storytelling, honestly, and it's not. It's not like movies, like the best type of shit there, but this is good, fun storytelling to develop what's going on here outside of Dynamite, so I appreciate it. The last bit I want to talk about, sort of akin to the same situation, Private Party was teasing the Good Brothers. This was fun. You would have loved this. They go into the Good Brothers locker room and Gallows is sleeping. Private Party has a ring bell. They ring the bell. And Gallows does the Festus gimmick, starts freaking out, and Carl Anderson comes running and he's like, "What the hell is going on?" Gallows is like, "They rang that damn bell. They made me start freaking out and do my Festus. They turned me into Festus with a PH in case Vince still owns it." And it was so much fun, but a good way to build up on the Private Party situation with the Good Brothers. A lot of fun.
That's great. I love that. Oh my god, I'm probably gonna go back and watch Being the Elite, or like skim through it at least.
You should, because there's a hell of a main event in the BTE title match. I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, dude, it's a crazy one. It's John Silver versus Sammy G, defending versus Sammy G. Is he gonna take the BTE title to his vlog?
You better not.
You better tune in and find out. But that wraps up all the news, the Being the Elite highlights, everything we got to talk about there. We still got to talk about Dynamite, Beach Break, this week. I'm excited. This is a good card. They've put together a solid card for a Dynamite. And the weird part about it is when they had one of these exciting events, I'll call it, or like big television shows in the past couple of months, it felt needed. You know, we were coming off of a string of kind of slow, clunky shows, and by the time we got to the bigger shows, I was hyped up for it. I was excited. Like I don't even know which one's to name off the top of my head, but the ones that they've put themes to, I felt like they helped build it. Right now, AEW's been so much fun that this doesn't feel needed. It just feels like a gift. Like, Dynamite's been great. Here's an even better one that we've put time and effort into building, because it's like a culmination of some storylines.
Yeah, it was like Winter, by the way. It was like Winter is Coming, New Year's Smash 1, New Year's Smash 2.
Yeah, and New Year's Smashes coming off of the Brody thing, like that was difficult
and
for
the
those
Brody
ones.
thing.
And then the winter is coming. That was a great show, but and leading up to it was great. But it's still it didn't have the energy, I feel like, that we have now, coming off of these just great, good Dynamites, good. Every show good. So
I agree.
That's what makes me excited for this one. And the first match we have to talk about is one we saw on a good Dynamite last week. Lance Archer taking on Eddie Kingston. They announced it recently, I think today even, that this will be happening in a lumberjack match. So adding another match with some good storyline presence to it. These two are obviously going to beat the shit out of each other because it's going to be a lumberjack match. They're probably going to beat the shit out of all the lumberjacks too.
Can you imagine just Archer running through the lumberjacks, clearing them out like Bruiser Brody with the chain? Like that's fully what I'm expecting. Like these lumberjacks are not gonna do shit. Sorry about that. Anyways, Eddie Kingston is gonna get his receipt first of all because bitch fucked up by messing with my boy.
I don't know, but that's a good point. Lance Archer will now have the lumberjacks to sort of help him. Eddie Kingston, the numbers will be evened up a little bit there. So this is going to be a good match. I do expect them to go even maybe harder for this one. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is going to be a good one.
And the last one they didn't go particularly hard. It was just like an opener. It was good, but it wasn't anything mind blowing. This one, it has a gimmick. It's on a big show, so I feel like you're right on that. They're going to go a lot harder.
Yeah, and something else they've been building up for this big show. They've been building it up for a while now. Ever since Miro debuted, the wedding of Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. They talked about it. It feels like forever ago now, but it also feels like it didn't take long to get here. What do you think, man? Weddings in professional wrestling.
Everybody loves professional wrestling weddings. Who doesn't? Assholes. That's who.
Assholes. I don't know, man. It depends. I don't know where they're going with this, to be totally honest. There's different ways they could go. Like they could easily go the cliche Joey Janela way that we talked about in the past that we hope we don't see. Outside of that, I don't know what they could do outside of throwing a curveball. Maybe the wedding just goes perfectly fine.
I mean, there's Orange Cassidy. He could fuck it up.
He could. But it's not even like that's my problem. He doesn't have a beef with Kip. He just has beef with Miro. I mean, maybe Trent isn't actually as injured as people are assuming, and he's going to come back. I don't know the guys. So I have no idea.
I don't either. I really don't know what they're going to do, but I fully expect they know what they're doing because they wouldn't be hyping it up and putting it on a big show for nothing. So yeah, I'm expecting something cool, and also something funny, which is the main point. I'm not even going to lie. The last wrestling wedding, the Raw one with Rusev, which is weird if Rusev was involved, and Lana or Lana and Bobby Lashley, whatever, that Rusev was involved with. I actually watched it because I was like, it's going to be so bad. I got to see it, which I know is what they wanted, but fuck me, I can't always. I buy into it sometimes, man.
You buy into the cliches and
I watched the Rumble with you, you know.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm excited about it because I'm really not excited, but I'm curious to see what happens because this is going to be a good point for Kip. I feel like he's consistently been in a weird role because I don't even know where he fits. Is he a mid-carder, lower mid-carder, upper mid-carder? He's a good character. He's been a great person. Yeah. His matches have been solid. I just need more from him. Maybe this is the jumping off point where that really does start to kick in outside of just being gamer dude. But maybe that's all it is. Yeah, I don't anticipate this being Bobby Lashley, Lana levels of of messed up. But hey, you never know. Maybe Penelope Ford will have someone come out and announce their love for her in the middle of this one, and that's where they'll go. Isn't that how that Lana wedding ended?
Yeah, but it was like Alexa Bliss, I think, and it was spooky. I don't remember.
See, we don't know.
It was someone. It was some girl.
You didn't even really watch it. Fake fan.
I watched it. Trust me, I watched it.
Speaking of some girl, we got Dr. Britt Baker taking on Thunder Rosa. These aren't just some girls. Yeah. These are our girls. These are AEW's top women. I feel like maybe not the top, but these are some solid women. Which on they're in the upper echelon. Where the fuck has Hikaru Shida been, bro? Now that I say that, I feel like I have not seen Shida in a month.
I guess Abaddon really scared her. I don't know.
but let's talk about this match. Let's not get hung up on where Hikaru Shida is. This is a good one, yeah?
This is a great one. Britt Baker has been putting, even when she's had opponents who like are newer to wrestling, she's been putting on really solid matches. So I feel like putting her with Thunder Rosa, this is going to be a good ass match. Like you can give this one 10 minutes if you want. It's not going to be a problem. They're going to kill it. And Thunder Rosa
10 minutes
always brings it. Well, I mean, they've been doing it. They've been doing like 8 minute, 9 minute, 10 minutes.
I agree, but you're just the way you said it is as if it was a 45-minute match and that it's a ton of time. Like I do think that these two are easily competent to do even 15, 20.
For TV time, 10 is
yeah,
helpful.
I agree. This one is interesting.
It's interesting. There's a lot kind of going on with it. I don't. Some of the build has been weird. I'm not going to pretend it hasn't. I'm sure they're going to do a Road to Beach Break if they haven't already. It's probably going to drop tonight or tomorrow morning, and they're going to do a hype ass promo for it, and we're probably going to see it on Dynamite, and that'll change my opinion entirely and be like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I love the build. But as of right now, the build's a little weird. But really, I don't care about the build. I care about the match. So that's all that really matters to me is that should be a dope ass match, and I hope Thunder Rosa wins.
Well, and to that point of the
But I don't care if Britt wins either, by the way. I'm fine with that.
That's where I like this match, because I don't care who wins. I like both of these women. I think it will be probably Britt who does win would be my expectation, because I don't think that Thunder Rosa is with AEW for the long term, unfortunately. Yeah. So obviously you want Britt to win to solidify your woman in this division. But both of them look strong going into the match. It's hard to tell who's going to win. It could go either way, because if they do have Thunder Rosa for an extended period of time, you would want to make her look strong. So that's what makes this a fun one. This one has been, the build has been elevated by circumstance, I would say, by the fact that the match was supposed to happen a couple of weeks ago, right? And then Thunder Rosa had encountered someone with COVID, and we've almost had time to forget about the bad parts of the feud, you know what I mean? I at least have forgotten about most of the negatives. I know they exist. As you mentioned it brings
I
it
just
back
remember
up in
the
my
Jade
head.
Cargill part. And I was like, that still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But again, they're gonna do a hype ass video for it, and it'll be fine.
And it's just had time to be an extended feud. Like, all I know is this has been going on for a while. They've had brawls. Neither one of them has necessarily come out on top. Both of them look really good. This almost feels like where they did everything how they should have done the Big Swole feud, where that didn't have as much excitement coming out of it despite the length of build because Britt was injured. This has had a lengthy build because of other circumstances, and in turn is looking really good. Like, I'm very excited for this match. Because I like both of these women, I think, and I'm excited for the women's division with the tournament coming up, and so yeah, good stuff there. Another match I'm very excited for and should have it does have title implications, the Tag Team Battle Royal to determine the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks, if they win this Battle Royal, they will decide who they face at Revolution. They've hinted at facing the Good Brothers, so very interesting stuff lined up there. I do think the Young Bucks will win. I don't think they'll choose the Good Brothers, and I think that's where the tension will begin.
I want the Young Bucks to win, but I feel like, and hear me out, it could be a total red herring, and I would be fine with that because that would be kind of dope ass way to pot me. But I do think they're gonna win. I think the Young Bucks are gonna win. I don't know if they're gonna face the Good Brothers. There's a lot of avenues they can go with that, but I want the Young Bucks to win, honestly. So. Whatever the case, I'll probably be happy no matter what happens coming out of this match. Again, this is really just a show where it's like it doesn't really matter who wins. I'm gonna be happy.
Pretty much all up and down the card, yeah.
Yeah, like even the Eddie Kingston one, I made a joke, but like I like Eddie Kingston, so I'm not going to be upset if he wins again.
Yeah,
I'll just
I
be
agree.
upset that Lance Archer lost twice.
I'll be dumb hype if he wins, honestly, because I'll feel like that's solidifying a strong build for him.
Yeah.
And that's not what I ever really expect with Eddie, so the fact that he consistently gets that in AEW makes me so excited. But either guy could win that one, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, as far as this battle royal goes, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel like especially because it's a battle royal and it's a tag team battle royal, and most of their tag team matches are fucking off the walls bananas, anyways, like PWG style shit. Like it's gonna gel fine. Like it's not people you might make the complaint like, oh, you shouldn't do tag team battle royals, so that'll be clunky, and it's like, no, it'll
depends
just
on
be
how
they're gonna
you
do their
it.
spots.
Like I like tag team battle royals if they're like, because I feel like I've seen some where if one guy's eliminated, both guys are out, and I hate those. I think those are stupid.
I don't like that either.
But if it's both guys, last man standing earns the opportunity for both the team for both teammates. Like, that's great. I think those are fun. I think those are the more fun types of battle royals.
Which is the case?
I'm pretty sure it's the second case because I've had this fear before in AEW, and then they did it the way I wanted it to, and I liked it. But I think it's the PTSD kicking in where I'm like, please don't do it the other way. But yeah. And if that's the case, I like it because then you can have one guy who like loses his partner early on and then has to go the length. Like say Jungle Boy, for example. I think they're in it. Luchasaurus gets dumped early. He lasts till the final two and then gets tossed by the Young Bucks or something like that. Would be interesting. I would love to see the Young Bucks win this one and then challenge the Motor City Machine Guns. That's Dream World. That's Dream World booking, but with the relationship, but with the Impact being set in stone, the Young Bucks know, and you could easily play it into storyline, that their match against the Motor City Machine Guns was like one of the best, was the better matches that you got in Impact at that time period.
Yeah.
And Ring of Honor, I believe. So, yeah, I think that you could easily make that play where they tease that they're going to face the Good Brothers, and then boom, it's they're facing the Machine Guns. That's Dream World. I know that's dream booking. That's what I'd love to see.
I don't think that's dream booking. I think that makes perfect sense because I feel like the obvious, like I said red herring earlier, I think the obvious answer here is, oh, they're going to face the Good Brothers. Everybody thinks they're going to face the Good Brothers. They made it seem like they're going to face the Good Brothers. And so if they turn and say, no, we're going to face the Motor City Machine Guns because we want to prove that we're fucking better. Because if I recall correctly, the Young Bucks lost against the Machine Guns in their biggest match in TNA at the time. Mm-hmm. And so it would make sense that they would be like, well, one, our boys don't like you. Number two, we don't like you. So number three, let's see if you can take these belts off us, fuckers.
Yeah, and just being like that they can pick the matchup. That's what makes it so simple to do a cross-promotion match with those two teams. You know, like, oh, we picked them. We know the relationship is going on. So I would love to see that. I still feel like it's a little bit of Dream World booking. But if I'm booking, I definitely don't have the Bucks face the Good Brothers on this pay-per-view, no matter what happens. Like, you could easily have the Revival win this. You could have the Acclaimed win this. You could go so many different routes for the Bucks to face the team. Then, if Impact is obviously willing to work within the booking, you have Private Party beat the Good Brothers to win the titles in even upset fashion. And then you have two great tag team title matches for your pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where the money is, in my opinion. You have the Good Brothers defending their titles against an AEW team, and then you have the Young Bucks defending their titles against an Impact team. I think that's a great way to book Revolution and how I would do it. But I'm just a guy with a microphone.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, sir. And the last match we have to talk about, another tag team match, we got Kenny Omega teaming up with the guys I was just talking about, the Good Brothers, to take on Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. This match, I hope it gets like 30 minutes because this could be fucking bonkers. Like, Pac, Rey Fenix, and Mox are such a solid, like, individual singles type of group to go up against Omega and his boys in the Good Brothers. Like, it's great.
It's so good. Like, and also, for the first time since the title match, Jon Moxley is getting his hands on Kenny Omega, and they're going to bait that out. You know they're going to tease the fuck out of that. Kenny is not going to tag in at first. But once he's trapped in there with Mox, shit is going to be on, and it's going to be amazing. And then on top of that, like you said, two of the best high flyers, not in AEW, in the world, in Pac and Rey Fenix. Fucking fantastic already. And then the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega, like, everything about this match is going to be, looks to be like it'll be amazing. So yeah, I'm with you. I hope it gets 30 minutes. Give it longer. I don't give a fuck. I'll watch that all day. That's a good ass match. Fight forever. Hashtag GCW. And honestly,
Fight forever and ever and ever.
I want Kenny to win because I feel like John shouldn't get his win back yet, but I wouldn't be mad if John got his win back here, because it's not like he wouldn't be getting his win back; he'd be getting a win, and he doesn't necessarily have to pin Kenny either to win. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of avenues you can go down with either team winning, and really whatever they do, it should work out because it's not going to affect Kenny and Mox facing off either way.
Nope, I agree with you there. I think that, and I'm glad that Phoenix is in a position where Penta doesn't have to be in here, and I hope that Penta can get the same type of treatment, and that they can get a situation where they can do more singles stuff. They're a great tag team, and I don't know, do what they prefer, obviously, but for me as a fan, I'd love to see Phoenix get an opportunity as a solo guy, and Penta. I think both guys are fantastic as solo guys. They could both easily be legitimate main eventers in AEW's top division as solo guys, so I like that Phoenix is in this position to do just that as a teammate of Pac, but still on his own in this unit. Moxley being the guy to join these two after Penta getting injured makes sense, and there's so much like history to it too. I feel like didn't Mox team with Penta and Phoenix in the past, like there for one of these shows,
maybe,
or it was, if not, it was on the cards and something happened. But yeah, there's just been such a great booking with AEW. I like Omega with the Good Brothers. I like this card especially. because they've booked up Beach Break to be such a big show, I think that something interesting could probably happen to close it out.
I fully expect something crazy is going to happen.
And this card is very exciting. We ran down so much. There's no Hangman Page mentioned. There's no Cody Rhodes mentioned. There's no MJF and Jericho mentioned.
No Sting, no Darby, right?
And I expect all of these guys to be involved in stuff on this show, but it's cool to see. Like maybe they're not, and that would almost be like I would think that would be cool as hell. And that because I like to see AEW going in an old school fashion of 1 week we're focused on these characters, the other week we're focused on these characters, and we kind of bounce back and forth because we have a deep roster, and that's how we keep everybody on TV, everybody involved, and do it in a way that's productive. So I do expect to see a couple segments from Jericho and Hangman and stuff like that, but the fact that they're not getting featured and have to be in a match this week or have to be shoved down our throats, like, this is a great card, and the only main guys, like, and Grant, I'm not trying to downplay any of the rest of the roster, but the main guys on this card are Omega and Moxley, and they're in a 6-man tag match, and it's still a great card. Like, that's awesome. I remember a point last year where we were like, where are some of these guys on this card? It's not even. They were put in multi-man matches. Remember where it would be like Hangman and the Elite, and we'd be like, we can't fill out the bottom of the card very well. Now we're in a position where they could do that all day long and fill out the bottom of the card easy. So,
and that's just the benefit of building stars and building people up. Because like if you don't, it's going to bite you in the ass.
Yes, 100%.
Like other companies that won't be mentioned.
That had the oldest Royal Rumble in all history because they had a bunch of old men and no new young guys.
I wasn't
going
to say it, but
I mean, it's a good point, honestly, and it's what I like about AEW. And it's not even necessarily a young versus old thing because Eddie Kingston's an older superstar, but he's getting an opportunity to shine, and we're seeing a new face be built. Like Will Hobbs is someone who hasn't even been featured in that top role yet, but I see it coming for him down the line because he's just got so much going for him. Wardlow, like there's so many guys that easily will fit into the next upcoming role for AEW that they've built up slowly. Last year it took time. We didn't just jump right into it. Shit, we were begging for Jungle Boy to get that push, but they've taken time, and it's only going to work out for the better. We've seen that now they could literally give Cody time off and it was like he wasn't gone because they had enough talent to work around it. So they've consistently done great stuff with their roster. I like that the women's roster is getting more fleshed out. I anticipate some announcements for the women's tournament as well. That almost makes me more excited for just announcements during the show. So, yeah, I'm very hyped up for this show. I put on the title of the stream, level 10, hype level 10 for this one because they've got a great card. And maybe it's a 9. I don't want to overplay it. I would love to see a world title match.
Because I don't think they'll let me down. I fully expect some crazy shit to happen.
Yes, sir. So, a great card, great Dynamite in lined up. I'm excited to watch it and then talk about it. We'll be back on Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time to discuss AEW Dynamite and the fallout of Beach Break. We've wrapped up everything we need to talk about this week, though, AJ. So go ahead and let them know where to find you, and we will get out of here.
You can follow me on Twitter at BigMatchAJ, and you can follow me on Instagram at AJTheFitzy.
And as always, you can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/AllElitePod. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/AllElitePodcast. If you're watching us there, make sure you smash that subscribe button, brother. You can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, all those great places. We are also on Twitter at AllElitePodcast and on Instagram at AllElitePod. You can find me at Upstate Andrew. That's my Twitter, and on Instagram at Andrew Kazir. Thank you guys for continuing to support the podcast, be a part of the process, all that happy stuff. Until next week, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Oh, I see.